Broadcasting live from the secret studios on the banks of the Brandywine River in Delaware is Mitchell K.C. Hill. And up to the Great White North in Vancouver is Alexander Knight.
The Last Angry DJ. This is Mitch Hill. I'm the Last Angry Guy, trying to engage his mic when it's not working correctly from my head. We have a great show here lined up with the broadcast Boffin. The three of us are going to hear and chat about some very interesting subjects. And as always, we encourage you to interact with us. And in order to do that, I'll bring in my producer and good friend cohort, Mr. Alex Knight, who will pop in now and tell us how that happens. Whoops.
Good to be here, Mitch, for episode 74 of The Last Angry DJ. This is the show where we interview luminaries in the world of broadcast, not every single week, of course, because we can't always get a guest every single week. But this show isn't just about the world of broadcast, it's about content creation as well. So that means we talk to YouTubers and podcasters as well. And this is a show that intersects old media versus new media. We're always going to talk about that in some form or fashion every single week. And unlike Iron Chef, it's not about whose industry reigns supreme. Mitch could not help himself. It's about discussing the ongoing challenges that we are facing. It's going to be a good episode today. I'm going to introduce Mark Giuliani, who's here on the panel with us. How's it going, Mark?
Going well, Alex. How are you doing? And Mr. Hill is here today, and we're going to have a great show. So everyone ask some questions so I can have something to do.
Mark is such a great guy. You know what? We brought Mark in about a year after we started the show, and it's such a pleasure to have you here. We got to start giving you proper credit, Mark, because you're our poster boy for radio station ownership. And rumor has it that, when people talk about live and local and radio station ownership and medium to small markets, they're thinking of you and that face, that wonderful face that Mark has. Yeah, switch to him just a second. Come on, give us that face. There it is. There it is. That's what Mark does whenever I say something. All right, I teeter-totter on the Mendoza line of bad taste. Mark is my barometer for that, so I'll peek over there to him. Again, my name is Mitchell K.C. Hill. I'm the old guy that talks about old radio. And our friend Alex Knight, I almost said Lindsay. Alex Knight is the one that talks about today's radio, the X generation. What are you, are you a Gen Xer? A G? You're not a millennial. You're too. What's your designation?
I'm definitely a millennial because I was born in 1982, so just right at the beginning of that. Probably one of the
so we have absolutely nothing in common.
The oldest millennial.
All right, and before we continue, I see whoops on your shirt, but I don't get the context of the. What's the story behind that?
There's more to the writing. I'm not going to get into it. It's an inside joke.
Come on, people want that kind of stuff. Okay, well, anyhow. All right, here's what we talk about. We love talking lately, and it is something that really stretches my shorts. It makes me angry in any other metaphor I can think of. That things are very strange on YouTube. YouTube nowadays is like the Wild West when it comes to fair use and music licensing, and we've talked about this ad nauseum on our show, specifically on how it affects us when we try to play a piece of music in order to demonstrate something or to make a point. When I play an air check from one of my old radio shows, we get flagged on it. And when we get a flag, immediately there's a situation where a claim is made, and then any monetary income that we make on doing the show supposedly goes to the person that's claiming the copyright flag. And in my particular case, one of the songs that I was introducing as part of the air check was a song by Chicago. Now, if Peter Cetera or one of those guys was sitting here, they'd say, hey, there's no problem. You can go ahead and use that. That's nice that you talked about us and made some reference to us. But it's not really up to them anymore. I mean, you could be the artist, and as Alex has told it before with a story he had with a band. They could say, yeah, go ahead and play the our song that we're trying to promote. Somebody out there owns the musical publishing rights to it, maybe even the mechanical, and it may not be the band. It may be something they've, as Steve Stryker would say, abrogated or sold the rights to, and then they in turn sell their rights for checking music ownership to an AI or some third party that's, for all intents and purposes, are bounty hunters. So bounty hunters are out there grabbing left and right and getting the money away from us. Here's another story, and we want to talk about this guy that comes from a website called Wings of Pegasus. His name is Phil. I don't know Phil's last name, but I've distributed it to our friends here. And again, at the risk of getting into trouble again with YouTube, we're not going to show you Phil talking about his particular issue. But this is sort of the other side of the coin with copyright and fair use. Phil at Wings of Pegasus has pointed out that there's this band or this guy that takes popular shows that are obviously copywritten, like America's Got Talent or X, whatever that is. What are those shows? I forget the name of them. Help me out. I don't watch any of them. America's Got Talent, X Files. Alex, you look like you're busy there, but what are the names of all those talent shows that are on the networks and on
I don't have TV in the traditional sense, so I don't. America's Got Talent. Then there's that's a franchise. So there's Canada's Got Talent, UK's Got Talent.
Simon Cowell
all those
has
different ones. Yeah.
So what this guy's doing? There's an individual that is cutting pieces of America's Got Talent. We'll just say that as the example. And they'll have like the just a little bit of the opening just to give you a taste of it, and then the crowd reaction, and then next thing you see, he's got this microphone and he's singing over a bad green screen of, in this particular case, he's supposedly singing Unchained Melody, which Bill. What is it? Bill, the Righteous Brothers, one of the Righteous Brothers is singing, and the guy's got this microphone in front of his mouth, and he's singing it, and they cut away to Simon, apparently crying, or the reaction shot. They're stealing all of these reaction shots. They're out of context. They're not part of this. And then what he does is and I don't even know the guy's name, Samphir or whatever. I don't know, of the Magical Flute family. And then what they do is that they post this as their production, even if it's a cover, and then they claim the rights to it. So essentially, he's faking it completely. He's stealing from these TV shows in order to get this reaction from his singing, and even has them in the background or the show logo in the background, and claiming it as their own. And by doing that, he is, and if you look on YouTube on the thing, you go down to the ownership of the thing, and it's got this guy, Samphir, or whatever his name is, as the ownership. And what happens is he has millions of viewers going to it, and he's the one getting all the money for it. Not Bill Medley, who I was trying to remember his name, from the Righteous Brothers. Not Simon from, America's Got Talent or whatever the show is. And this is the way YouTube works. And then what happens is anybody that refers to it or shows it, again, adds to these multitude of people that are listing ownership of this song, and he's getting all the money. He's claiming it just as the Wild West. And this is wrong. It belongs to the artist, but he's getting all the money. So this person, whoever he is, wherever they are, I wish I could show it to you, but I don't want to get them pointing fingers at us. That they have the ownership of this, and that anybody else that does that song from that point forward, it's what's FTB? Fade to Black. Okay, good. Just so I know. And anyhow, it was just a little bit background baseball. So anyhow, this guy's grabbing the rights to songs doesn't own and faking it, and it does it every day. So there's hundreds of songs that has been done, and apparently he got his girlfriend involved in it, or his wife, and his baby. He holds the babies while he's singing the song. And this guy from Wings of Pegasus, Phil, is calling him out on it, and rightfully so, and saying this is wrong, this is not right. And this is the other side of the YouTube thing, is that YouTube is allowing this to happen. It's got to stop. This whole thing of fair use and people stealing things or claiming that they have ownership, or even if they're flagging you where you have a real fair use situation, is causing a lot of agita for a lot of people. And as I'm the last angry DJ, I'm calling them out too, because as a former radio disc jockey that played Unchained Melody by the original artist, it really just tweaks me up that these guys are stealing the rights and claiming the money. That's not right. That's going into the bank and stealing the money. It's literally like that. So, Alex, you've looked at it. What's your interpretation of what I'm babbling about here, about people stealing stuff that they claim is fair use? And it's obvious. Even in the fake thing where he's singing, he's got the microphone up here in front of his face. He's not even doing a decent lip sync job. He's like focused over top of it. So it's up to you. What do you see?
Mitch, I gotta resolve this audio. I'm not sure if I'm still having this problem or not, so I need to.
Okay, Alex,
why don't you and Mark talk for a little while?
Mark,
it's fraud.
Help me out here.
It's just fraud. That's all it is. So sooner or later, YouTube's going to figure out how to catch them, and then they're just going to level on the fraudulent complaints, and maybe they'll go to court and settle it there.
Meanwhile, thousands, maybe millions of dollars are at stake here, and artists are not getting paid their due. There's another one with Celine Dion, and if I were with Celine Dion, I'd be pulling my hair out. Well, maybe she already has.
I mean, part of the problem is that YouTube has so many things to go through. They're trying to automate them through AI and have AI go through it, and it's just going to catch, it's going to catch a lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff because it doesn't yet have its filters.
I don't have any sympathy, boo-hoo for YouTube, because they're doing such a bad job of policing that, and such a good job of screwing us out of fair play when we try to use it. So why isn't it an even playing field? It's not. It's like we're getting screwed on a small technicality, and meanwhile these people are just taking this fair use way beyond what's and actually getting money for doing it. So get your comments in there.
They're going to end up going to jail. Is what's going to happen.
But maybe they're not here in the United States.
Well, who knows?
Maybe they're offshore. I don't know. I don't know the guy's real name and what the story is. If you do a search on YouTube, do a search on Wings of Pegasus, and look for the guy saying this music is stolen. This is not right. It's shameful. And my heart goes out to him for doing that, because I think it's right.
Well, what's even worse is not only are they taking credit for it, but when people compliment them, they're just saying, "Oh yeah, thank you very much," and it's not even them. So,
That's right. That's right. In fact, on his own website, somebody said, "Hey, you're doing a better job of that song than the original song." Well, guess what? It is the original song. And then instead of him calling it out and saying, "Oh, I just did it as a cover," he says, "Oh, thank you very much." So that's what Mark is referring to there. So that's blatant. That goes way beyond fair use or any other rules. So he's screwing it around, and the consequence of that may be, well, that money's changed hands. They may have a hard time getting that money back and letting it go to the people that deserve it. And he's meanwhile leveraging that loophole in YouTube for his own nefarious purposes. I just feel like I want to turn into the Spy Who Loved Me Bond villain and live in a volcano and have my own submarine and do the same kind of crap, and at least be able to put food on the table. But this stuff is going on. So I can't imagine anybody agreeing with him and saying, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay that he does this. So let's all get in the business of doing that." It's just when you have a few people taking the rules and taking advantage of them or a loophole, it just makes it bad for everybody else, because something's going to come back from YouTube that's going to make it really bad for everybody else. Meanwhile, we get nailed for playing 10 seconds of a Chicago song when we're playing it as with me introducing the song on the radio back in the 70s. So it's not like they haven't had time to figure that out.
Here's where it's also a pain. If you're a news station like we are, and we go and cover a story, and we've done this in the past where we're at an event, it's outdoors, there's music playing. We go back, take some clips, put them together, tell a news story, goes out as YouTube as the source that we're utilizing to send it out, and they'll flag it because it's got copyrighted music on it. Well, no, it's fair use, number one, and number two, we're paying for the rights because we're a radio station. So you got to go through all of that time and effort to convince YouTube that they're in the wrong.
Yeah, and the tough part is that it's all the thing that we're talking about hovers around the use of fair use. Right. And as Steve Stryker, our attorney recommender consultant, bon vivant, know-it-all, sorry, Steve, he already said that the law's already been written by the Congress and the judiciary that there is a very clear set use of fair use and what it means and how you can use it. But this guy's doing something completely different. And when you have a hole like this and with a huge leaking bucket of somewhere along the line, a government or some government agency has to step in and protect us from it. It just has to happen, as Mark said.
And it's going to happen, maybe not for this reason, for other reasons. There's already 2 suits that Google has lost. One of them is over their ads software, and the other one's over their search software. So you're going to see a breakup of this and some things changing. May not be related to this particular subject, but you're going to see a lot of changes coming down the pike in the next year or two with Google.
Imagine when the lawyers finally catch on that this is like fresh meat for lawyering. Going after. I mean, it's got to be the intellectual property, fair use, YouTube as a company. It is the Wild West. It literally is. You got it. The new sheriff's in town. He's strapped on some 6 guns and he's going to go shooting people up that are breaking the rules. And that's got to happen. They got to find these people. They've got to place them in jail if they can. I don't care if he's from another country. If we can levy tariffs on people, then let's levy something on them so that they don't come back and start doing that kind of stuff. So we have no patience for it here in the world of the Last Angry DJ. We don't like that kind of stuff going on. So the other thing is I have not heard anything via Rick Beato or any of the other guys that are part of Rick's old team there of the Professor of Rock. I'm looking at a cheat sheet. Justin Hawkins and Anthony Fantano. It seems to me that we need to create our own little posse. Yeah, get the Wild West posse connection there to start tracking this stuff down, particularly as it affects us when we try to do legitimate fair use and the stuff that like Rick does when he's teaching, such great insight to how songs are done and the crafting of music and all that kind of stuff. That's a whole different animal. But this guy that's stealing these songs and doing it in such a blatantly obvious way, it'd be sort of like me deciding that I'm going to grab the ownership of "Touched Me" by the Doors, and I'm going to go, come on now, baby, touch me, babe, whatever. And I'm going to do a bad job of singing it, and I'm going to claim ownership of the song, and then I'm going to start getting all the resids for that.
But he's doing it's more than just the music. He's cribbing the whole show. I mean, he's taking pans of the audience. He's taking pans of the stage. I mean, the what we saw, what we were showing with the links that we had. The guy's basically, it's almost like he's got the raw video and he's editing it up and just making him look like the hero.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what he's going to.
Who knows?
I'll tell you what his defense is going to be. He's going to claim that it was a parody, and he's not going out of his way to identify it as a real parody. He's got some bullshit hashtag on there about it, but he's not. Especially like the person that said, "Hey, that's a great song." He's like, "Thank you very much. It was." It's like he's not going out of his way to claim that it is a parody. You might get away with a little bit if you cop to the plea that, yeah, this is just for entertainment purposes and look how easy it was for me to do this. You might still get in trouble, but nowhere as near as blatantly.
But usually parodies are pretty obvious that you're making fun of the situation. Yeah. This person's trying to make it serious as if from the little bit I saw, it looks like they're just trying to take credit for it.
In the world that we live in, and it says up in the corner of the screen, it says flashing lights made for sensitive viewers. Or it needs to say parody that may upset sensitive viewers that like original songs done by the Wretches Brothers. They gotta disclaim it. I have the same beef about AI generated stuff. I think that they have to put something on the screen that said this is not a real band. The Velvet Underground or Sunshine, whatever that band was that we were talking about last week, that's totally generated by AI. I think they need to identify it. They need to identify themselves for what they are.
Wait a minute. So if we come up with some technical program that allows us to AI the traffic, so we come up with a way to get the traffic feeds and then use a voice, an AI voice, to read the traffic feeds, are we going to have to say that this voice was AI cloned? Or not clone. We're not cloning the voice. We're just using a voice. But
yeah, I think so. I think so. If the information is generated by an AI, the actual information.
No, the information is coming from traffic cameras.
Okay, but I'm not so sensitive to that. But I am sensitive to an AI voice acting like it's a real person giving out sensitive information, like a weather alert. You know, we've had some really bad weather here on the East Coast,
Right,
flooding, tornadoes, God knows what else, lions, tigers, and bears.
See, I think there's a difference there because one is utilitarian. You're not. It's not a famous voice. It's just a voice, and you're using it to convey information. You're not claiming it's a person. There's no names used. You're just reading a traffic report. You're automating that process.
I think people have a right to know that it's a fake voice. It's like I was looking at
what's gained by
ways.
that?
Let me make the point. It's like anything else. Like when you buy clothing and it's got stickers or tags on it. This is 100% polyester or whatever else. You may not care, but maybe somebody does because they may be allergic to it, or that maybe I don't like the voice. I was looking after doing audiobook stuff. It's being taken over by AI. And it pisses me off. So I think that in order to make the playing field a little easier, I think they need to identify themselves when they're not real. So let's say that we get government officials that are giving instructions or talking about what the government is doing with something, Social Security or Medicaid or whatever, and it comes up and starts making some fairly bombastic remarks. And it may not have come from the government, may come from another source. You need to identify that. You need to identify yourself. So I think you have to draw the line and say all AI voices need to be identified as AI.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because the sample you just gave was information being provided, federal information or governmental information, but coming from another source. This is coming from the source that's already been identified through the FCC hourly identification tool. And then you're just using a automated voice to read traffic being generated by traffic cameras and other traditional traffic sources. Even
but
weather.
Mark, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line between somebody hacking your system and alerting people that there's a serious tornado or a tsunami heading towards and it's not been identified as an AI voice? At least you have the chance to determine whether or not is this a real report. And that's my point, is I think that you need to be able to determine that anything that comes via the internet, whether it's from an AI, radio station, TV, I don't care what, it needs to identify itself. I'm an AI voice.
So let's take this a little further. Radio station, TV station, whatever, has a contracted employee. That's an oxymoron. Has contracted out a service. Let's just say it's the weather. The weather report is coming from AccuWeather. All right. Now that person's not an employee of the radio station, but they're still reading the weather. Must it be identified at the end of that weather read that person's not an employee of that station?
I didn't say that. I said it has to identify as if it's AI generated. I mean, it could be cats and dogs, literally. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an alert. There are cats and dogs falling from the sky. right now. It's like, some people may literally believe you unless they know, oh, that's a parody, or it's an AI that's doing that, or, a government official, whose voice is being copied. That's my problem, is that you need some mechanism for identifying what is real and what is fake, or what percentage of it may or may not be real, like a little meter thing that says this is bullshit, that this is not. Chances are this is 100% real.
But
Just some
isn't
way
that
for us
covered by
to
your
believe
reputation? That's covered by the.
I don't think
the
there is a
reputation
reputation anymore.
The reputation of the station is going to go down the tubes if you start, no matter whether it's a human being or a robot that's saying things that are incorrect. People just aren't going to listen to you anymore.
By the way,
Yeah.
Mark, I love you. I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at you.
I just want to.
People tell me sometimes I come across as if I'm mad at somebody, but I'm just trying to talk louder so they'll agree with me.
Oh, don't make me use my radio voice, because then you'd be in trouble. Anyhow, that's my opinion. My opinion is must identify contrived information done by an AI, just so people know where it's coming from. It could be perfectly legitimate, as you said, but I think it's up to the viewer or the listener to determine whether or not it's real.
Okay, but
that's where I'm coming from.
I hear you, and you're entitled to your opinion, but do you?
Boy,
think
here comes
that
a smackdown if I ever heard
one.
No.
Look at TV commercials. Do you think every TV commercial is done that are actual people using the products, or are actors sitting in selling a product?
I don't know, Mark, but I'll tell you what, if this had a mechanism for smelling my breath, it is truly minty fresh, just so you know. I have minty fresh breath, just so you know. I mean, it's a context thing, commercial. Yeah, okay. But if the president of the United States came on and said, my breath is minty fresh, I'd say maybe it's not. Maybe he just had a hamburger. That's just how I am.
Well, I mean, this goes into a whole nother subject, which is the whole video things where they're just totally faking everybody.
That's why it needs to say it's a deep fake alert. There's an AI generating this, or there's a little meter that says truthiness of this. That's Stephen Colbert's term. Alex, you've been getting away with murder by claiming there's some kind of technical thing you're working on.
I hope it's
fight.
That's okay. I'm going to put us all in this 3 up here for a little bit here to see if this is actually
fixed.
But it's a really interesting conversation. I'm sort of eavesdropping. I was trying to fix this. Hopefully, if anyone's in the live stream right now, if you could please comment in the kind of chat and let me know if you're not hearing my voice doubled. I believe I have resolved that now. Please do speak up. Don't let it go on, because it's annoying when you hear someone's voice doubled, and I'd hate to have that in the final version for the entire
It's his AI voice.
So please let us know, and of course, this is a reminder that you can ask questions on this topic or anything we're discussing by going to ask office hours. See, I'm into office hours. Ask.thelastangry.dj.com. That's ask.thelastangry.dj.com. It looks like Mitch is trying to nudge everyone in the direction of asking about his new dog. I'm not sure if we're going to be taking questions about his new dog on this episode.
Of course we will. You gotta put a puppy up when things get a little too serious. So there's a picture of that's my new puppy. His name is Loki, the god of mischief, and that's me on the day that I picked him up, which he's about 7 weeks old, and that's him, my new little guy. And if I have circles under my eyes, it's because of the dog. It's like anybody that's brought up a puppy, it's a trying relationship, because the dog is trying your patience, and I'm very, very mellow in dealing with him. But everything from housebreaking to what you can chew on. He's already pierced both my ears, because that's how he wakes me up, by chewing on my head. That's what puppies do. So again, there's the puppy, just so you can see him. Is extraordinarily cute. They're cute for a purpose, so you can't yell at them. You just go, isn't that nice? You have teeth, and they're needle sharp. And you just tore up my computer keyboard, whatever. That's my doggy. So, Mark, have we accumulated any commercials or AI input or questions that we can? Mark is off camera.
No,
He's queuing up his AI voice.
I was just trying to help Alex out by making sure my second Zoom was muted, and it was.
Okay,
So
you're whispering again.
Feedback coming in.
You're vocal fry.
I know. Okay, so I do not see anything that would be a question at this point, but I do see some general topics that we may want to move on to.
Let's go. Let's do 'em.
Okay. Let's discuss the advantages of using Mukana versus live chat on YouTube.
All right. Well, we'll do this as a point counterpoint thing, and I'll take one of the subjects of there we go. Let's go. I'm going to say that YouTube is very convenient, but it's not the best way to generate questions that can be used in the show. The Mukana mechanism is fine, but I find that YouTube is just simple and easy for people to get in and do it. So to not use YouTube, in my opinion, means that we're not seeing who's here right now and what they're saying. It makes it easier. Now, Mukana is going to be is a lot more. Well, I'll let you defend Mukana as the best way to go. So, Mukana versus live chat on YouTube. Mark?
Well, I think that Mukana is more of a family of tools as opposed to YouTube in terms of this particular part of the interface. So it's offering different looks for different target audiences. So
I didn't understand a word you just said. It made absolutely no sense.
I'm being careful what I say.
You're being a tool is what you are.
No. I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it without giving too much away. So I think what I like about the Mukana interface over the interface that you might get with YouTube is that it just seems to be all in one place. You can watch the video, you can ask the questions, and then there's a separate place to chat with other people. So you have multiple target audiences. You've got the group that's watching, the entire audience that you can chat with. You've got the people behind the scenes and the questions go through a system to get to whoever's hosting the show. So I think it works for many different venues. It works for events. It works for streaming. We're using it in radio. It works great as a radio tool. Whereas YouTube is great, but it has a whole different purpose and a different target audience than what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. But YouTube is simpler to get in and to say something, but you're not getting all those other good things that you're saying.
Right.
So,
I don't disagree with you that it has been very challenging for us to get people to want to click the different links that they have to click to utilize the tools that we're using, as opposed to just going to YouTube and clicking and boom, you go.
I think we got more reaction from people that just go to a live YouTube. But here's another, I'll defend Mukana this way by saying the Mukana you can use all week long before our guest shows up or before the show's going. You can go in there anytime, ask your question. With YouTube, you can't do it unless the show is running live. So that kind of narrows it down, the opportunity you have to interact with us on that time. So to take both points of view, that certainly would be a good one. I'd like to bring Alex in at this point because Alex is very adamant about what way he would like to do it. So, Alex, here's your big chance.
Okay, thanks, Mace. Hopefully I'm back. I think I finally fixed that problem, so let me know if it's still echoing. Yeah, I think that overall, I think this custom tool that we have as someone who's used it for a while on other shows, I think overall it provides a more controlled experience. First of all, for me, if you're going to have a chat component, you got to have threaded comments, and Mukana does that. I don't think YouTube does that, or at least not very well. So I just find the whole interface better. It's just, I don't want to have to spend my time in multiple places to try to moderate. And here's the other thing people got to realize. On the other side, if you're producing a show, unless you have, and Jerry Hoyle in the chat says that the audio issue is fixed. Thank you. It's because I made a change and I didn't check
Jerry.
something, which was my fault. People got to realize too on the other side that we got to produce a show. We don't have the budget to pay people to, dedicate their time to moderating things. And so we have to try to do things that work for us as far as moderating comments. And so if you're going to start dividing your audience in multiple areas on different platforms, it suddenly becomes a lot of work to maintain it. And that's really why I wanted to move to a single solution where people can interact with us and engage and chat with us during the show. And I still stand on the fact that the threaded comment structure in Makana is much better than what YouTube is doing. And I think if this show were to scale to hundreds of people or thousands of people, I think that you would really, really see a difference, because at that point, obviously, we would have someone dedicated to moderating stuff. And the moderation tools, as someone who can see these tools and something that you can't see, I can definitely tell you it is way, way superior. And it's unique. There's not a lot of options there. I mean, hey, I'm not saying Google should stop making their own tools better. Of course they should. But there are limitations. I mean, have you guys ever jumped into a live chat for a big company where there's 5,000 people, and you're just seeing the chat go like that, and no one's moderating it, no one's doing anything.
That's a good point.
It's just, and it becomes like a complete nightmare.
Yeah, I'm trying to play the devil's advocate here a little bit, because I do have some people saying, "Oh, it was so easy when I could just go on YouTube and you guys would notice it." And Alex's point is well taken, particularly the fact that we also can integrate Makana much more into our show, visually and otherwise. It's a much easier beast to deal with. I think the solution to the question of whether we should be using the live YouTube chat, not the YouTube comments, but the YouTube chat, is we need more people. We need more people watching the show and interacting, so that there's a larger sample of folks that are finding ways to get in. And we're still a young podcast, making its way in the world. We have 205 subscribers, but that doesn't count the people that listen to us audio only and watch after the fact. Not the live version of YouTube that we're doing right now. That allows you to go in and ask your questions, and we answer them live on the program. So that'll all change. And while we're here, by the way, please, if you haven't done it, and statistically, at least Rick Beato says this, that at least half of the people that watch this show are not subscribed. What is the big deal? Just reach up, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get points. And it makes it easier for us to do a better show. It allows us to be rated, and we're one step closer to eventually being monetized, so that I don't get thrown out of my studio here. So eventually it'd be nice to be able to do that. And it would make Alex so much happier and so much easier to get along with if we had more people. So, yeah, we got to switch to his smile. Go ahead. You can switch. There's the look. That's the skeptical look. There's the smile. That's what I want.
Yeah, I do smirk. I've been told I have a tendency
It is a smirky
face. I don't smile necessarily. I smirk quite a bit. John Wallace is in the chat saying, can't subscribe anymore. What do you mean, John? Can't subscribe? Subscribe to what? I'm not sure I understand what he's talking about.
You can't enter chat in YouTube. It's turned off.
No, maybe he means you can't subscribe to the show if you're not in the live chat because the video's embedded. I think that's what he's saying, and that is true. That is true.
Yeah, John, clarify that for us so that we can be clear, because this is why I brought it up as a subject to talk about. Go ahead, Mark.
Could we put a link in the chat that people could click and it would automatically subscribe?
Well, you can't open chat to do that, but you could certainly put it in a comment or part of the description of the show, below the thumbnail that says for live communication.
Right.
Click this link.
He did reply, and he said that that's what he's talking about. Yeah, I mean that is a limitation of the interface. I mean, look, the only other way around that is to have it open in a separate. You could. If you're at home, I mean, what I do is if I'm if I'm watching someone's live stream, I'll watch it on my big screen TV. And if it's a show like Office Hours or Extra Hours, I'll just use the light version of Makana, which, by the way, the light version is basically like a mobile-friendly version that doesn't have the embedded video in there. Again, this is personal preference. I don't like watching the video embedded. I want to watch it on a big 50-plus inch screen. That's just how I like to watch video. I think the video that's embedded there is there for convenience. Yeah, I'm not sure with the YouTube API. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, that'd be a development thing that would have to be done. But it would be cool if there was a way via the API that you could just click a button in a custom interface and it would just, it would allow that person to subscribe to that channel. But again, that's more of a Google thing. I don't want to get into the technical weeds of that.
Yeah, and the chat only works while the show's live. That's a big deal as far as I'm concerned. And Makana is available anytime. So you want to ask questions, just general questions, maybe not specific to the show, you can ask them now in Makana when we're off the air. You can ask them then. And next time we come on, we can answer those questions, right? That is correct. Yep. You don't reset it until after the show, so they can start any time and doing that. And plus, it's a very mature program. It has all kinds of connectivity issues that we can't even go into, but we're very happy to have it. I'm not complaining about having Makana. I'm just asking people to justify it. And also, in a way, I'm answering the complaints of some people, just some, not a lot, that it said, how come I can't use the YouTube chat anymore? Because they just wanted to get shout-outs, stuff like that.
We could put the subscription link to the YouTube channel under the description of the video.
Correct. Yeah, below the thumbnail that's there, the live thing. And then the lastangry.dj.com, that takes you to a Makana version that does not have the embedded video, right?
Let me think.
Takes you to a page.
No, it does take you. It does when you log in. You do get the full experience.
I just have a redirect. Short form.
I just have a redirect in place, and it takes you to the full version when you log in. But Jerry Hoyle is actually commenting. He does what I do, where he watches the video on his TV, and then he just opens it up on his phone, and he's just using it as a chat component.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, so he's not actually watching it on his phone, which, again, you watch however you want. I don't really care if you want to watch it on a small screen or a big screen. Now available in IMAX and VistaVision.
Well, since we're on the subject, why don't you explain how you were able to put all that fairy dust magic into having our video look so good versus, like, I see other people doing podcasts, and they don't look that good. They look plasticky and bad, low resolution.
It's because most people don't. Look, a lot of the people that watch this show probably do some level of production. They already know this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. The reality is that most people don't really know what production tools to use. They don't. It starts with the camera. All of us on this show have nice cameras. We have nice microphones. So it starts with the foundation, right? You can't build a house on a poor foundation. So how do you expect your show to look good if you come in on a laptop webcam with the built-in microphone and it sounds like you're talking in a bathroom? Now, these technologies are getting better, like the new MacBook Pros. I think starting with like the M3 and newer have a pretty decent built-in microphone, and the webcam certainly has gone pretty okay. But it starts with that, and then, of course, using proper production tools. Don't just... a lot of people will go into a meeting on Zoom and they'll just do a cloud recording, and it doesn't look. The cloud recording is there because it's convenient. It's not there because it's the most polished professional way to get your video out into the world. You gotta kind of know and have to seek out production tools that work with Zoom, that integrate with Zoom, whether it's Memo Live, like what this show is produced on, and then we live stream it out to 4K, or whether it's vMix or Wirecast or Zoom ISO, any one of those production tools they integrated. But you got to learn that stuff, and 99.9999% of people won't do that. They won't know, and they don't have the skill set to do it.
Well, one of the other things that I have to constantly remember to remind people is that if you have audio issues, you can have a great microphone, but your room treatment may be really bad. And no amount of great microphones and audio processors are going to suck up that room tone that you could already eliminate just by putting Sonex on. And I have ceiling tiles with Sonex, and I've got the walls treated. And there's a curtain behind me, so the RT60, the real-time 60 reverb time in this room is very low. If I clap that, you don't get a lot of that echo. There's some there. But the other thing is that you're battling away with all the noise reduction stuff that Zoom does, and there's a lot of mistakes people can make there by either applying the effects that Zoom has incorrectly, or not using Alex, what you do audio all the time for us. What is the biggest mistake people make in setting their Zoom up when they have a decent microphone and maybe a decent room, but it still sounds like crap over Zoom?
Well, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see is
original sound, right?
One of the biggest things that I see is just really placement and setting levels properly. And I think the biggest thing is people don't want this thing poking out in the middle of the frame, but I say just embrace it. Now, I've got my mic pretty low in the frame, but I would much rather see a microphone and have it sound decent than have it, like, if I just push this away, my voice now completely sounds thinned out.
What'd you say?
You can barely hear me. So, it's like, come on, shove that thing in front of your face and let's go. Like, don't be afraid to put the microphone in the shot. That's the first step, and then setting levels properly, and, it goes from there.
What's the thing now where people are holding a little lav microphone?
Oh, don't even
at
get
the
me
award
started
shows
on
and the
that.
red carpet.
That drives me
And
crazy.
they're doing this. And now there's an MTV mic that's like this big. Have you seen that? Where they got the little MTV mic? And here,
I'm just going to be angry for the rest of this episode. And I know our podcast has the word angry in it, but I choose not to be angry. But it is going to make me angry.
Give us some examples. What makes you angry?
I just don't like that. I think it's amateur hour. It makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. And it's not that much better to have, like, I know a lot of the DJI wireless mic interfaces and the
little
Rode
fuzzy
wireless
box
goes, you get the little box on here, and they've miniaturized them and they've gotten smaller over the years, but I still don't like that. And that also kind of bothers me, having this box, stapled to your shirt like this. It's like, hey, how's it going? Look at that. I'm a professional. I got a microphone right here. It looks stupid.
We got a question. It's, why do they have two lav mics on their lapel? Like a lot of TV shows or in the news, they'll have two lavs up there. Why do they do that?
That's probably a better question for someone who does production in broadcast. I think they might be wearing two body packs and it's redundancy, but I could be wrong. Go ahead, Mitch.
They could be on a talk show where there's people on either side of them, and if they have a double lav, they could be answering a question over here or talking to somebody over here, and the mic's going to be a little more sensitive to where you're coming from.
Yeah, but that depends on the polar pattern of the mic, though.
And another simple reason, like on the news, they are redundant. So if one mic goes out, the other one's still working. And that's what a lot of people do. Like, you watch any show nowadays. And the other, since we're talking about microphones, look at all the BBC guys now. They have the lavs, and instead of them with the little lav clip with the mic pointing up, they have them with the upside down, so the mic is pointing down. And the reason for that? No plosives. And because it's an Omni microphone, it doesn't care if it's oriented down or to the side, but it does if it's in the path of the breath. And sometimes you'll see people talking and they hit a P or a plosive when they're looking down and the mic is pointed straight up. That's a problem. As to microphones in the shot, mine is slightly in the shot, just mainly so there's a microphone there. And the other reason, it just happens to be a good spot for the microphone to pick up my voice. But these people that had these gigantic SMV7s or whatever, right on their face or whatever in the shot, they can't. Here's the thing: you can tell they're bush league. They can't resist touching it all the time, and to me, that's annoying. Yeah, go ahead, Alex. He's getting his all set. They can't resist constantly adjusting or touching the microphone. That actually, yours is not so bad, Alex. But some people
this is not a good look right here. Like right here?
I don't find it objectionable because your face really needs something to break up.
My microphone.
Your face needs to be there to break up the monotony of how you look. So the microphone. That was a cheap shot. The microphone is there to make it more interesting. But the people have this giant boom microphones, and they're cohabitating the space with them. That started out with the what was it? The PR40, the Heil mic had to be in there. Go ahead, switch over to Mark. That's kind of the way most places that are doing podcasts are. The mic forms a very. My nose was itching. I was trying to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Mark. Don't. Oh. And he does the vocal fry. So anyhow,
don't cup the mic.
That's our little,
biggest pet peeves as a live sound guy is people cup a cardioid mic. Do you know what happens when you cup a unidirectional
You change
capsule?
the directional.
It turns into a freaking omnidirectional, and that microphone takes off in the PA, and all you hear is wee.
Yeah, it's crazy. Or people to cover a microphone at a concert, they think that they're cutting out the audio. No, they're just changing the pattern, as you just said. And most of the time, if they have live speaker wedges on the stage, instant feedback. It's just a bush league thing. But I love the crazy things that people do with microphones in the radio business is always very, very interesting. Howard Stern, he's famous for his, what does he have? He has like a TLM Neumann.
103.
Yeah, off to the side. He's got he's got the microphone in his hand, and he's playing proximity because it sounds good. And, Howard's got a pretty good voice. He doesn't need to handle the microphone while he's talking into it. But he's got it covering like 3/4 of his face. And I just think that, what is that? There's got to be something psychological going on here.
It's an affectation. And you know who actually started that is the earliest, not in broadcast, but do you remember Chuck Berry? If you ever watched Chuck Berry, he was always grabbing the mic like this. Like that was his thing. He would grab the mic. But you know what's funny? I watched an interview. It's an older interview now, but there was I think the last time Jerry Seinfeld was on Howard's show, he actually pointed it out and gave him shit for holding the mic. It's like this is what's funny. Okay, Howard Stern's talking to Jerry, and mid-sentence, Jerry stops him and he goes, "I notice you like to hang on to that thing."
Well, that's what Jerry does. It's observational humor.
Yeah.
He's got to have that going on. You don't see me. And again, the other thing, the nervous habit that people have, readjusting and playing with their microphone while they're on. It's just, I'm sorry. And some people that I respect and love to death do it. And I'd love to call them out on it. I see it on office hours a lot. And I say, get your hands off that mic. It doesn't want to be touched. Just think of it. And maybe I should just get mine out of the shot altogether. I have the same, almost the same mic as Alex does there. Just happen to have a piece of foam over it. Because
you used to. I remember when you first came, like early on in the office hours days, you'd had that microphone completely out of frame. I don't remember seeing any foam.
I did, because I wanted to brag that I didn't have the mic in the shot. Sort of the anti-podcast approach to doing it. Yes, that is correct. I did that in the beginning. And now I just happen to have it where it needs to be to get my voice sounding pretty good.
You just like to show up in a meeting and people are just immediately like, "Wow, where's that coming from? How do you sound so good? You got nothing in front of you."
If I wanted to show off, I'd grab the U87 behind me and I'd really and put it in the shot, like
now,
right here in front of my face.
You can't really hide that. You can't. That's not a microphone that you can really easily hide because that's a tall microphone.
No, put it in front of your face, and my face has gotten to the point where, I don't care. Cover it with the microphone. Yeah. Maybe it's my voice that makes that sounds good. Yeah. Anyhow, that's our story about mics. Do we have any other subjects coming up or questions that might have popped in here, Mark?
That was a long way around telling me to get my microphone out of frame.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now we can barely hear him.
Yeah, use some vocal fry. I like.
We got another major topic to discuss.
Yeah, I think we should talk about ideas for replacement radio formats for, something like a virtual radio station or an imaginary radio station. What do you guys think?
Well, this is what we started the conversation about last week.
Intriguing.
I challenged the crew here, the panel, to come up with a format for an imaginary radio station that would be owned imaginarily by Mark Giuliani.
And it would be imaginarily profitable?
Yeah, it would be imaginarily profitable. It would be imaginarily financed. And
is that even a word, imaginarily? I don't think that's a word, but hey,
well, we just
made it.
Yeah, we did. It's like truthiness, which we used earlier. It's like whatever's in those coffee beans you're drinking down there, and remember you're up on the 3-Up. So he's got a mouthful.
I wanted my coffee drinking in the video.
There you go. So any new ideas on that? New formats? I came up with jive weather, but I was told that as a reference nobody would get.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'm not sure a 25-year-old would really get that. Then it's funny, before we started live streaming, Mitch mentioned the movie Airplane, which again,
yes,
unless you're cultured and you love film and you watch a lot of movies, do you think a 25-year-old even knows the movie Airplane? Probably not. Do you even think a 25-year-old would know the Liam Neeson Naked Gun movies?
I've got mixed emotions about it. I think that it's not the same. I don't think they're pulling it off. That's my opinion. Yeah. I've seen excerpts from it, and yeah, Neil Leon, whatever his name is an excellent actor, but switching him to this kind of comedy role, I don't think so. And that what's the thing with him and what's her face?
Pamela Anderson.
Without wearing makeup. Now, look, I'm so used to her with the raccoon eyes, and now she doesn't have it. I'm like, who the hell is he with there? There she is.
She's wearing makeup in that movie, though.
And your point was cultural references that mean absolutely nothing to people under 25. That is the bane of my existence. I'm stuck with it. And you're a millennial, Alex, so you may or may not get when I make a reference. I'll put it in perspective. Do you think they could? Do you think that they could make the movie Blazing Saddles today without being shot down by the ultra left complaining about it? Do you think they could get away with it?
That movie specifically, no. I don't think they could do it. But there have been comedy movies over the last, I would say, 2 decades that certainly were controversial. In fact, the one that comes to mind, probably the worst offender, maybe to some, specifically to North Korea, was that movie that Seth Rogen did, where they
with the puppets, yeah.
Well, it was not the one with the puppets, not Team America.
I like Team America.
No, what's that movie that he did where they killed Kim Jong-il or something? Well, it came out like 10 years ago. What the hell was that called? Anybody know?
Was Dennis Rodman in it?
No. Hold on a second. Now I got to look it up. The Interview. He's going to look it up. That's the one. I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
2004 with starring James Franco, Seth Rogen, Dave Skylark and his producer Aaron Rappaport run the celebrity tabloid show Skylark Tonight when they land on an interview with a surprise fan. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un Jong-un Kim. They are recruited by the CIA to assassinate him. So you can imagine how the North Koreans probably weren't too happy about that.
Well, there was a story going around when that movie was being released that there was a death threat against all of them to release the movie. And Sony Pictures or whoever the picture company, they actually were going to go direct to streaming or DVD because of the fear that the theaters would be in trouble. That was a real thing back then.
Yeah.
And that was what, a decade ago?
Long time ago. More than
Are you saying you liked it?
No, I haven't seen it. I never...
Oh, it's stupid. It's literally stupid. The only thing going for it was that it was threatened. It's threatened to be banned by, who.
I like a good stupid comedy movie once in a while. And actually, speaking of that, I I don't know how good the marketing department has been, because I didn't even hear that it was released. Did you guys hear that Happy Gilmore 2 has been out in? It came out a couple weeks ago on Netflix. What do you think?
Horrible. It's just
it doesn't live
bad.
up to the first one.
Oh, no comparison. Anytime they do in Hollywood, they do a sequel to something, they're trying to live up to the magic that happened in the first one. I mean, nothing will ever beat Bob Barker and Adam Sandler having it out in a knockdown drag out. They overused John Daly in it as a gag, and it was funny for about 5 seconds, but he was in it through the whole thing. It's just one bad visual gag after another, trying to relive the glory. I found it insulting, a waste of time, and even though it was free, I'll never get that hour and a half back in my life. That's my review of it. Absolutely sucked. And you know, when you started to introduce some movie, I knew it was bouncing around in my head. I want to jump in and say what it is, but I didn't want to mess your intro up.
It's funny, Mitch. You have like the opposite reaction. A lot of people that have watched it so far said that they enjoyed it and they thought it was a pretty decent sequel. So,
did they ever see the first one?
They did.
Those people?
I was just talking to my parents about that. They thought it was pretty good, but who knows?
I think a lot of people will tell you what you want to hear and not what they really feel.
John Wallace in the chat is saying Mitch doesn't get it. John, did you like Happy Gilmore 2? What did you think? How would you rate it in comparison? If you were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 in comparison to the first movie, how would you rate it? Would you rate it at least a 7 out of 10? Let us know. Curious.
Go ahead, John. Stick it out there. Here's for all the people to watch Happy Gilmore 2.
Well, this conversation's being completely derailed. What else do we got? I think that's pretty much
any
it.
Bad movies lately? I was watching the roast, the comedy roast of who were they roasting? Any comedy roast that was done before COVID, and it's excruciatingly painful that in the world we live in now to hear what they're saying about each other. Now in a roast, all bets are off. They completely, go after people racially, etc. And I've been modified by the way people think now in the Me Too world that we live in. I've got an extra organ in my body that reacts to pronouns and other things like that that I can't help myself. But no, I can't watch that. So maybe certain movies, it's going to have the same effect on them. But movies trying to recapture previous glory, I don't get it. And I'm not very motivated to go out and see Naked Gun because I thought that there was a lot of magic from the original series. And what's up with Pamela Anderson? All you have to do is go out and watch Barbarella or whatever. What was the movie she did? The first movie she did, Barb.
Oh, that movie that you're thinking of, Mitch, was Barbed Wire.
Yes, that was it. With the tattoo.
I think
was
that movie
in
was
LA.
made for about $5 back.
I was in LA doing a TV commercial, and my business partner and I went over to the Oceanic, the Cinerama, the big Cinerama in Hollywood, and we were like one of 10 people in there, and we saw it, and it was horrible. And it's like anything that I felt about her, Pamela Anderson, all her Baywatch cred went out the window, and her acting cred. This is just a horrible movie. All she had to do was show the pictures with her and Tommy Lee on the porn sites,
right?
And that would have gotten Emmys and Oscars. But no, they had this stupid waste of time movie. And then to add insult to injury, they had people standing at the exit because it was a Hollywood movie theater interviewing us of what we thought about it and critiquing it. So I don't know if they were still editing it or what was going on. And my partner just kind of leaned forward and said, Mitch, we're in public, please, just the same way you guys would. So that just gives you an idea.
You guys talk amongst yourselves. There's a few movies I actually want to talk about before we go. So
since
let me go grab them. Let me go grab them.
You're going to get the actual movie and bring it out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Physical media, baby. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I don't know what to do. Now we got a 3-up with a missing person in it.
Yeah. We better
we
get the
do?
milk cartons out.
Mark,
So
what was the
we
last
can
movie
find
you
them.
went out into public to see?
Animal House.
It's not a trick. It's not a trick question.
Caddyshack.
You know, Animal House was a fluke. Nobody had any
I know.
idea.
The only person that got paid was Belushi, I heard.
I don't know about that. The guy that one of the guys that wrote it was the guy who was with National Lampoon, the weird skinhead guy. Apparently, he drove a car off a cliff or something after it was over. There's a lot of stories behind how some movies got made that never should have been made. The Caddyshack, that was never expected to be the huge giant success that it was. And apparently the stories that happened behind the scenes are crazy. And it's like, how did they ever get a movie made? Ghostbusters, same thing.
Yeah.
They had, anyhow, where's your movie examples there,
Okay, so I have
Alex?
a stack of movies. Some of these I saw in the theater, and in no particular order of importance. And
Hold it in front of you there.
these
There you
are
go.
all 4K discs. This movie was phenomenal in theaters, Sinners.
I can't bring myself to watch it.
It's fantastic. And on the 4K disc, they kept it says right here, but they actually kept the IMAX scenes in here. Now, this movie was designed for IMAX, so it looked phenomenal in IMAX. Great movie. Here's another movie I saw. I went in cold. I didn't even watch the trailer, but I saw this. If you're into body horror films, this movie is fantastic.
Don't
Starring
like horror.
Demi Moore, The Substance. This was
I've
done on
seen
a very
it. I skip over it.
It is so crazy. This movie gets more and more insane as it goes along.
Is it good?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I loved it.
Okay, I'll check it out for free.
A couple of other movies that I saw recently that I don't think were either in the theater or they didn't have a huge release. I thought this was a pretty entertaining movie starring Nicolas Cage with Joel Kinnaman. Interesting pair-up. It's called Sympathy for the Devil. You guys seen this? Sympathy for the Devil. Yeah.
Does it have Rolling Stones music?
Good one. It might, actually. I don't remember. Then I picked this up. I didn't know anything about it, but when a movie has such a compelling title like this, how can you not get it? This is starring Sam Elliott. Okay? This movie, let's see if I can get the focus.
It's not focused. We
to
can't see what it is.
Come on. There we go.
There it is.
The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot. How can you not buy a title with that? The Man Who Killed Hitler.
Is it
and
subtitled?
Then the Bigfoot. No.
I think most of the viewers
not
wouldn't
gonna spoil
understand the subtitles.
Great movie. I love Sam Elliott. Who doesn't like Sam Elliott? And then this is a movie that one of my favorites, top 10 of all time. This was released in 1998 and it got a huge cult following. Now, unfortunately, it was ruined by the studios at first. The theatrical release you don't want to see. The studio started meddling with things and they demanded that a voiceover be added at the beginning of the movie, but it basically gives away the entire movie. So you want to see the director's cut. And this is Alex Proyas's 1998 masterpiece.
Oh, yeah,
called
great.
Dark
Great one,
City.
I loved it.
Now this is finally, they've remastered this on 4K. This is a limited edition done by Arrow Video. And for those that don't know, Arrow Video does boutique releases here. It's pretty thick. It has all brand new commissioned artwork. And it got a 4K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative, approved by director of photography. And the HDR looks fantastic. It is a very dark-looking movie.
Is that the one with Kiefer Sutherland plays a wacko doctor? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then on the inside, this is fantastic packaging. So first of all, you get this huge 60-page booklet with photos from the movie and lots of really, really cool articles about the whole production of the movie. So if you're really into collecting, if you really like
it's a great premise, great story, well told.
Yeah, exactly. And then they also give you this Dark City poster that's double-sided. So this is the original poster for the movie.
Right.
Starring Rufus Sewell and Kiefer Sutherland. If you flip it around, this is the new commissioned artwork that's on the box. Okay, so they give you that, and then they give you also in the box.
I went to see that movie, by the way, only because Jennifer Connelly was in it.
Yeah, I love Jennifer Connelly. She's great, too.
That's before she lost all the weight. I don't know what happened there.
And then they also give you these really cool poster cards.
Yep, there they are.
Different actors in the movie, and also, of course, if you've seen this movie, you know how important
the postcard. Yeah,
you know how important Shell Beach is in this movie.
It's a billboard in the movie.
The Shell Beach poster card, and then you even get, this is kind of kitschy, but
are we there
cool.
yet?
You get Daniel P. Schreiber's business card. That's the psychiatrist played by Kiefer Sutherland. So that's his character.
Great role.
You get the 4K disc and the Blu-ray as well. So a fantastic release, one of my favorite movies. I recommend it highly. If you haven't seen it, watch the director's cut. Please do not watch the theatrical release.
This is the happiest I think I've ever seen you, Alex.
No, I love movies. I watch a lot of movies.
There you go.
So that's it.
Animal House.
That's it for me. I just wanted to give
no
those
love for Animal House.
I've seen Animal House. It doesn't age as well.
How about Star Trek the movie?
I love the motion picture. The
motion picture, yeah.
Yeah, I've since watched the new version where they finally finished all the effects. It is it's actually a very good science fiction movie. I know a lot of people, it gets a lot of flack for being slow, but those people that say that don't really appreciate hard science fiction, and it is a very solid science fiction and a very solid Star Trek movie.
Yeah, they could have cut down the amount of time that they showed the Enterprise the first time when they flew around it. It's like, give me a 5-minute reveal.
I love spaceship porn. Give me a 10-minute shot of the Enterprise in slow motion. I love that shit.
Have you seen Picard, the last season?
Yes,
Season 3?
That's the only season that is good because they had a new showrunner come in that actually is a Star Trek nerd that knows Star Trek. They brought back the original cast, and I thought the story was really solid, but season 1 and 2 is just not good at all.
Again, playing too much off the past success, and they said, well, it's just enough to show Picard is actually there, and he's got his number one is a dog. You know, it's like, okay, we got the joke. Move on. Make it more interesting. All right, interesting sharing. Any comments coming into Mukana or in the chat room at YouTube?
The only one that I saw was the last one was Jerry Hoyle saying he saw the new Naked Gun clip on Colbert. Not impressed, he says. But hey,
have you noticed that Colbert is like really stretching for his last few shows before CBS kicks him out?
I don't watch it.
I think he's really stretching. He's acting like, you guys want to cancel me? Okay, here's the kind of stuff I really can do. Anyhow, what else were you saying?
No, that's it.
That's it. So we've exhausted our questions. We've exhausted some suggestions. And we've got some guests that we got lined up that'll be coming on board. I don't know about this coming week, but I think we're working on getting Jerry back. It might be an interesting show. And we always like to hear what you have to say. You know, your opinions mean to us. If you have a director's cut of some particular movie that you want to call attention to and get Alex, give Alex a chubby, that would be a great thing to throw into Mukana. I got the look from Mark, so I got to clean up my act. So that's about it. And again, how do people get in touch with us?
Yes, they can get in touch with us multiple ways. One of the ways you can do that is by going into our Discord community. If you don't know how to do that, all you have to do is scan that QR code with your camera phone, pull the phone out of the pocket, turn your camera on, point it at the screen, right there.
That magical QR.
Yeah, that magical QR code will let you into our community. We would love to see you there. And of course, if you would like to support the show, there are various ways you can do that. You can like and subscribe to the show on YouTube. This is also available as an audio podcast. I usually release that the day after this live stream ends. So usually Monday I put that up there for your morning commute if you want to listen to it that way. However you want to listen to the show, we're available on all podcast platforms, everyone from Apple, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify. You can ask your Amazon Alexa device or ask any device to play the podcast. It will play there as well. Also, I'd like to mention that we do have a Patreon, so if you'd like to monetarily support the show, you can go to patreon.com/TheLastAngryDJ. That's patreon.com/TheLastAngryDJ. And we only have one support tier, which we call Become a Coffee Supporter, and that's $2 a month, I believe. I haven't, inflation has not affected.
You can't get coffee for $2.
Inflation has not affected the cost of a membership for The Last Angry DJ. So it's got that going for it. It's untainted. So if you'd like to support the show that way, you can do that. And also I'd like to give a shout out to Boinks Software for providing Memo Live, the application that we're using right now to produce this show. Thank you to Oliver Breinbach and team for allowing us to use that to put this show on. You can follow us on social media at The Last Angry DJ. And, of course, we've got a website, thelastangrydj.com. You can always send us an email if you want to do that, but most of you don't, so probably doesn't really matter that much. Over to you.
Wow, that's a write-off. And that's Alex and his magical floating QR code. It's always good. It's right there if you want the QR code. See that? It's magical at its shape. And you point your camera at it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Give it a shot. And we want to thank Mark for being here today. Mark, I know I stretched the boundaries of good taste, but that's what I do. And that's why you're muted.
He's speechless.
He's literally no comment.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Okay, got it. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching again, folks. We appreciate it, and we do really like your input. And Mukana is a great device, as we've said. You can use it all week long before we do our next show. So feel free to do anything in the realm of good taste about movies you like, shows you like to see us do, comments about the YouTube debacle, about free use, fair use, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you again next week. In the meantime, be very safe out there, folks.